Look, I'll speak plain talk. I've dealt with this issue for 20 years in Congress. Prior to that, I was a federal prosecutor. I had as U.S. attorney, the border in my district. My first bill 20 years ago was to end catch and release. And here we are 20 years later, same policy. I know this border well because my state of Texas bears the burden. My state has appropriated $4.5 billion just this session to deal with a federal government issue. It's not a state issue. It's a responsibility of the federal government. And they have the federal government has completely failed. As I told Mayorkas, you have failed in your job. Interestingly, when he went down to the Border Patrol agents turned their backs on him because by what they said, he turned his back on them. The morale has never been worse. I've seen this movie so many times, and I've tried to fix it so many times. And we have a fix to it. But this is the worst I've ever seen it on the border. It is wide open. And why? Because the first thing the Biden administration did with a stroke of a pen was to rescind Remain in Mexico, to rescind the migrant protection protocols, which were working. What that meant was if you come into the United States, you'll have to remain in Mexico pending your political asylum claim. 15% are justified, 85% are usually not. But what did that do? It sent a message. It sent a message to the cartels. It sent a message to the cartels that we're not open for business anymore. And what Biden did by rescinding Remain in Mexico sent a message to the cartels, open for business, come on in. 5 million people encounters. What are we going to do with 5 million people? 100,000 deaths due to fentanyls. My oldest daughter's been to 5 funerals. My son went to one just last Sunday. It's killing young people in America. It's dangerous. Criminals coming in, people on the terrorist watch list, for God's sakes. This is irresponsible. And we need to fix it. And you know what? As I said last night on our committee, this should not be a partisan issue. This should be an American issue, protecting the sovereignty of the United States and our borders from the threats that we see. My bill out of the Foreign Affairs Committee will reinstate Remain in Mexico. It will reinstate the migrant protection protocols and the asylum claim laws with Central America so we can shut this thing down. Shut it down. This is the root cause of the entire crisis. So I want to thank the leaders, this leader, Mr. Guest, this guy, 3 o'clock in the morning. Thank you. This is an answer, a solution. It should be bipartisan. It's sad it's not. I told Benny Thompson that last night. Why can't this be bipartisan? We used to do that. But this is going to be the Republican solution to the problem. Thank you.